Hey, welcome to another Polywags Polls Pokemon Market Update. Here's how this goes. We've got the TCG player with the screening technology to find the biggest price spikes in Pokemon singles. So we're going to read through this article by Corbin Hosler and then talk about some late Sword and Shield main sets. So let's get into this article. Modern day classics are coming back in a bit of an odd week for Pokemon TCG market, bracing for the impending large-scale release of Ascended Heroes. There were only a couple of notable jumps. Most of the market was focused on the falling prices of Ascended Heroes singles. Let's start with the movers and this modern day classic. Some have argued that Pikachu with Gray Felt Hat is one of the best new Pikachu cards to invest in, and the performance of this Scarlet and Violet promo card so far has not dispelled that notion. Pikachu with Gray Felt Hat is up this week from $500 to a market price of $532, pushing it back closer to the $600 all-time high it reached back in the November-October peak. It's an incredible story for a card that just 18 months ago could be found for under $100, but after reaching that high back in November, the Van Gogh honoring Pikachu settled back down to $510 or so before adding $20 in the last week. Not to be left out, the promo printing of Pikachu on the ball climbed from 93 up to 103. In fact, promos from the Scarlet and Violet era are overall doing well. We got another Scarlet and Violet promo here, Greninja EX. I remember seeing this one in boxes on the shelves and saying, wow, that's a promo? That thing's freaking sweet. Can't believe you just get it guaranteed in that box, and here they are at an all-time high, climbing up to a $67 market price, up $60, up from $60 at the beginning of the month and $50 at the beginning of the year. And we're talking about a card that a year and a half ago could be found for under $10. And yeah, just about 25 bucks 9 months ago. Pretty crazy. The other promo in this art style worth mentioning is Kingdra EX. Not really the same art style, but I guess it's a little similar. Not sure how popular Kingdra is, but I've always really enjoyed it, and this is a beautiful printing. The price hasn't moved as much as the other promos from its era, but it's up this week to $65, $15 higher than it was at the beginning of the year. Special delivery cards are still flying higher. We can't go a week without talking about a Charizard of some kind, and this week it's the special delivery Charizard promo from Sword and Shield. It's up this week from $165 to $180, with live listings pushing even higher. That's a big move for a card that just a year ago was $65, even $60, $55, about 10 months ago. And actually something like the third discrete time the card has spiked in price since then, for sure. In case you're curious, there are actually a few more special delivery cards that deliver quite the sticker shock. Special delivery Pikachu comes at no surprise, at $300, which climbed in 2025 but has been flat for months. And special delivery Bidoof, running at an all-time high of $420, up from $390 at the beginning of the year. Scarlet and Violet 151 ages like wine. Charizard EX SIR up to $280 from $260, chasing the all-time high of $300 that hit about 6 months ago. And also got Blastoise EX SIR from 151, currently at an all-time high of $103, up from $75 at the beginning of the year. And yeah, it looks like this one's going parabolic, so it might be some buy up going on. And Ascended Heroes begins its descent. While we're seeing some pullback in the market, where we're seeing some pullback in the market is with Ascended Heroes, which should come as no surprise. with Elite Trainer boxes finally releasing this week. That was yesterday, almost a month after the set's official launch day. Many of the Ultra Rares, Illustration and SIRs, and the cycle of Mega Attack Rares are falling in price. As for the Mega Gengar EX 284, good luck. There are only a handful of listings at all on TCG, with those coming in just under a cool $1,000. Mega Dragonite EX 290 is sitting just around $560. It'll be interesting to see where these go from here. I assume that the Mega Gengar can't hold 1,000, but only time will tell. Mega Dragonite, not sure. It's really a fantastic card. In the past year or two, I've seen cards, especially over the past year, cards have been released that didn't look as good and are still very valuable. So we will see. Other Ascended Heroes SIRs are finally coming down to attainable price levels as more of the set releases. I really like Mega Frostlass EX 275. That saw a precipitous drop this week, from 120 down to 105, matched by Mega DNC EX going from 125 to 107. Ascended Heroes has all the makings of a great set to rival some of the best of the last few years, and I'll be buying a lot of these cards over the next week or two as more copies enter the marketplace. There's a lot more action to come from this set. Looking at prices on 151, it looks like this year may just be getting warmed up. See you next week. Yeah, I would hesitate to compare Ascended Heroes to 151 yet. This is more like 151 right when it released. And yeah, we'll see. It's been quite some time for 151. It has marinated nicely. Now let's check out some Sword and Shield, late Sword and Shield main sets. The last main set of Sword and Shield, we know we had Crown Zenith after this, but the last main set was Silver Tempest, where the top chase is this beautiful Lugia V alt art, and right now it's going for about $365. There's also this Rayquaza VMAX out of the Trainer Gallery, which I like a lot. Drawn by Hideki Ishikawa. Awesome artwork there. And that one's going for about $100. And when you look at sealed prices for Silver Tempest, kind of crazy to look at. We got single packs going for about $10. A sleeved set, art set, is going for $50, about $12 a pack. And single sleeve boosters are going for about $12 a pack on their own. Booster boxes are nearing the all-time high of $500. This can't be real. Tell me a year ago, Silver Tempest booster boxes were $230. That's crazy. So, at an all-time high about $490, and trying to get back there. Wouldn't be surprised to see this stuff start to go on a run. No more Scarlet and Violet, so Sword and Shield is officially like 2 eras old now. So not surprised to see Sword and Shield start to make a comeback. Even the late set here, Silver Tempest. Going backwards from Silver Tempest, the last set before that was Lost Origin, which was home of the Shinji Kanda Giratina V alt art. Let's see if I can get this to load full screen. Doesn't want to do it. There we go, 3rd time's the charm. Beautiful, beautiful alternate art, and definitely a Grail card. One of the best cards, I think, in all of Sword and Shield, and then you get this Aerodactyl V as well. Personally, I think this is one of the best cards in Sword and Shield. Also, just so much going on here. I love all these Pokemon involved. Just a fantastic job by Nurikabe on that illustration. So without getting into too much, there's a couple more cool cards without getting into too much of the singles here. Let's take a look at the seal prices. A little bit more expensive than Silver Tempest, about $15 a pack. And sleeved ones have about $1 premium on that. PC ETBs are only $2.34, which is kind of crazy. I'm pretty sure PC ETBs of Ascended Heroes are more than that right now. Obviously just released, but just kind of crazy to think about. And Lost Origin booster boxes are also recovering from this dip we saw in the Sword and Shield market. Peaked at about 825-ish, and now we're back at about 760, dropped down to about 650 at its low, and boy, was there a lot of buyers entering the market at that point. 44 sold in a week, and 21 sold the week after that, end of November, beginning of December, when they hit those lows. So cool stuff. Lost Origin, another banger set in my opinion. Moving on, we got Astral Radiance. This one has a lot of great cards. This one's funny with the Machamp running through. This Pokeball reminds me of like a Target bag. It's just funny because he's like doing chores. Sells for about $150. And what else we got? Oh yes, the Starmie V, of course. This is one of my favorite Sword and Shield era cards. Got Misty there. Kira Komayama on the illustration. A beautiful card. And that one goes for about $90. So that's what we got. Part of what we got going on in Astral Radiance. Oh, almost forgot. Origin Form Palkia V, Oswaldo Kato. Incredible illustration. I love this. Had to pick this one up for about $60. I think I got it. For about $60. And moving on to sealed prices of Astral Radiance. Stuff's considerably cheaper than the last two sets we looked at. Market price only $9. You can tell those top chases are less expensive, so obviously the sealed product's going to be less expensive. And go down to the booster boxes, check out the history here. What a weird looking chart here. It doesn't really reflect the last two. I would say more so reflects a lack of demand for this set in particular. It did fall a bit, but it just hasn't moved a lot at all over the past year. I mean, it made this jump kind of with the rest of Sword and Shield, and then it's just kind of hung out. It didn't dip with the rest of it very much, but it didn't recover very much either. It kind of just stayed flat at around $400 a box, and here we are at around $390. Next up is Brilliant Stars. What do we got here? A Charizard V. Oh yeah, the one fighting Venusaur. This is a cool one. And this one's going for about $220. We've got, what else here? Umbreon VMAX. I'm starting to get, I don't know if you can tell, I'm starting to get less familiar with these sets. That's cool. I can still talk about them. So yeah, not a ton going on. Umbreon VMAX, Sylveon VMAX. Oh yeah, this Arceus V is in here. This is actually my favorite card out of this set, for sure. For sure, love this Arceus V card. It's going for only $45. I'm gonna have to pick that one up if I come across it. But the Charizard V is the top value chase at $220. Brilliant Stars, pack price around $11, so closer to Silver Tempest type, not as expensive as the Lost Origin. And sleeve blisters about the same. Booster boxes a bit more expensive than Silver Tempest. And look at here, we've actually got a pretty nice looking chart here. Did dip with the rest of the market, but has actually recovered and is what looks like to be an all-time high at about $600 a box. Brilliant Stars, a major sleeper in my opinion. Love this set. For what it is, very nice set. And I think maybe the last one I'm going to talk about is Fusion Strike. We'll see how many tabs I keep doing. Forget how many I pulled up. Fusion Strike. So drew this incredible Gengar VMAX alt art. This is, I keep saying it, but probably the third or fourth time I've said it. One of the best cards in Sword and Shield. This is definitely a Grail card. I love that he's got the like dark kind of logo in there. I don't know if that was on purpose. I think it was. And just everything about this card is incredible. The style is super dope. The colors, kind of pastel colors, are dope. Love this one. And going for a massive, almost $700, $675 for a raw copy. PSA 10 going for almost $2,000. Crazy. And a lot of other good cards too. Infusion Strike, Espeon VMAX. Gosh, I mean, you got Wingull flying around, the Dynamax beams or whatever. I forget what they called them in the game. You know, in the background. This is super sick. Super sick. Going for about $250. And there's more. Crazy looking Mew VMAX, going for about $166. We also got this beautiful Mew V for $90, and I think we've looked at enough cards in Fusion Strike to move on to the sealed product. And the most expensive set we've looked at in Sword and Shield today, not touching Evolving Skies, but we haven't gotten there yet. I think we'll probably get into some more earlier Sword and Shield next week, and I'll just probably keep going back further and further. But yeah, single packs are going for about $18, $15 for a non-sleeved booster pack. And let's check out the booster boxes. This one looks very similar, peaked at about 1,030 and coming back up, trying to make it back to 1,000 right now at about 950. Definitely the last set we're going to talk about. So if you enjoyed, I really appreciate you watching. Have a great day.